It was a historic day in Dallas today as the George W. Bush Library was dedicated.
And you know, all 5 living presidents appeared together today for the grand opening. Autria Godfrey got a look at the new library. She is live there in Dallas with more. Autria?
Allison, it's history in the making anytime all the living presidents come together. But today, our 5 presidents showed us what it's like to look past the politics. And there was nothing but camaraderie among the men that are referred to as the most exclusive club in the world.
It's a rare moment in history to have all living presidents grace the same stage, and even less likely to hear them heap praise on those they have so famously disagreed with. But today, politics and personal differences were put aside to dedicate the George W. Bush Presidential Library. There were a few jokes.
This was the latest, grandest example of the eternal struggle of former presidents to rewrite history.
But far more moments of genuine respect, like when President Obama described the letter he found in his Oval Office desk left for him by President Bush.
And one that demonstrated his compassion and his generosity. For he knew that I would come to learn what he had learned, that being president above all is a humbling job.
And First Lady Laura Bush says her husband's humble best is on display all throughout his new presidential library.
The image of George standing amid the rubble of the World Trade Center, his arm around the shoulders of a retired firefighter who had grabbed his old gear to go search for the missing.
Including a way to pay tribute to all the victims of that day is a large part of this museum and library. They have a wall that has the name of every person killed that fateful day, and they've also included a piece of the wreckage from one of the World Trade Center towers here. But unlike other parts of the museum, this exhibit is one that visitors are actually encouraged to walk up and touch.
And then there's the megaphone President Bush used to rally first responders at the still smoldering Ground Zero.
I saw it in the first responders who charged up the stairs into the flames to save people's lives from burning towers.
And for the man of the hour, a misty-eyed closing.
God bless.
An emotional moment, as you could see there, from President Bush. In fact, as he walked back to his seat, he was even seen wiping a tear away from his eye and kind of shrugging his shoulders. There was also another touching moment at today's dedication ceremony, and that is when President Bush's father, President George H.W. Bush, came out onto the stage. He was in a wheelchair, and he delivered his remarks while seated in his wheelchair. Once those wrapped up, he received a lengthy standing ovation from all of those here in the crowd, as well as from his fellow presidents seated there on the stage with him. The only time that we saw him stand was when he was helped up by his wife Barbara and his son George. Of course, a lot has been made of his health as of lately because he has had a couple of different hospital stays. The George W. Bush Presidential Library opens to the public May 1st. Live in Dallas, Texas, Autria Godfrey, ABC 7 News.